Right, so I'm just about to remove this like lower slam panel cross member. I don't know what it's called, just down here below the towing eye, and I noticed that this bolt, this bolt hasn't been done up at all. It's been put in, and it's at a dodgy angle, so it's almost like it's cross-threaded in, and it's only in a few threads. I've stripped the front end down. A lot of people have been saying, oh, why don't you put the radiator into service mode? I can't do that because this is the long nose, and the long nose, you don't have a service for the radiator, you don't have a service position, because on the short nose, the radiator comes like right up to here. On mine, my radiator only comes to about here, so I've got all this room already. So because I can't lift the radiator out to a service position, the only way to make this kind of area is to remove the radiator. And then we come on to the next question. Everyone's saying, just strip the front end out and pull the engine out. It's nice and easy. Yeah, it's nice and easy, isn't it? No. The aircon needs degassing, and I can get this out of the way. All the gear linkages off. All I've got to do is remove this coolant that goes into the head. I think I've disconnected everything else. Oh no, speedo, that wire, got to disconnect that. And I think that's it. Oh no, and for the clutch, the hydraulic line, got to take that out. And that's it, we're pretty much ready to drop it all out. Right, so we got a bit more done. All I've got left to do now is that hydraulic for the clutch. Everything else that's on there can pretty much stay on there, and it should be alright, just so we can drop it. It's this bloody racket, dickhead, who's this? Oh, there's always someone, isn't there?
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
What are you saying? Why are you shaking your head? What's up with you?
God, bloody loud, isn't it?
I don't give a fuck, mate. That's the whole point. Give it a beans, mate. Love it. Well, what's happened here,
mate? Well, everyone's saying, right, oh, strip it all down, take the front end off, it's easier. Okay, so you strip it all down, take the front end off, it's easier. No, it's not, mate, because I've still got the aircon and everything.
Yeah, you still got this in the way.
And I think with all the wires, what I'm just going to have to do is just cut them all through the middle, and then just get your dad round just to go, here, sort it all out.
Repair it, mate. Here you go.
Oh, so... Right, so when I took this slam panel off, this front panel, right in here, I don't know where it is now, because I'm just packing up at the moment. I just saw this, I thought I'd mention it, but there was like a nut in here, and you can see sort of like the shape outline of it, and it had gone rotten, and I didn't realise why it was in there, and till now I've actually just looked, but you can see that's had a clout on there. That's had a proper knock, because this side it's all, well, it's a bit rotten, well, surface rust, but it's all dead straight. So somehow I need to pull this out, square it off without damaging this top bit. That's an absolute nightmare. What a nightmare. Okay, well, the engine is all ready to come out. I'm just packing up at the moment. Just got the aircon unit to get off. Happy days. Right, this is upside down at the moment. You see that? If I get the right angle, there you go. That's rotted straight through. And then from the top, you can see that's the whole area. It's all battered. There doesn't seem to be any more damage on it. So, I mean, possibly I could cut this out, this section here, and just put a flat piece of plate in, drill the holes and weld it all the way up, I guess, rather than replacing the whole thing, because I've just gone round and just patched it up, painted, rubbed off where the rust was, repainted it. There's a couple of bad bits on the top side here. Let me see if I can, now it's dried off a little bit, I'll turn it over. Yeah, so this is a really bad area, this was. Well, it still is, it's really badly pitted. Oh, look, marked it already. I'll just put another coat of paint on it. Freshens it up anyway, happy days. What happened, I was trying to release this, and obviously you can see up here the corrosion. It was like welded itself on. So as I tried turning it, the actual whole unit spun, dropped down, and then it was an absolute nightmare. You can see how bad that thread was. So it's taken a few days. I've just left loads of WD-40 on it, kept spraying it up, cleaned it with a wire brush as much as I could, except for where the nut was. Yeah, and just kept soaking it in WD. Tried the old dagger gun on there, and that didn't do a great deal. And what I ended up doing was just up here with a 27mm spanner. So I've got a 27 spanner on there. You can see up there, there's a little mark on the chassis rail, and that's where I locked the spanner on. So I locked the spanner from there to there, and then on here I've got the old breaker bar. I was able to get that loosened. Lucky enough, this side I didn't need to do that. It stayed up there and I was able to loosen it, and it was okay. But you can't really see it there, but I have written down the distance before I release the nut, so I can all put everything back in the same place. Right, well that's the first issue I've had to deal with. And then I thought, well, while I'm under here as well, we ordered some new bushing, some new bushes for the, I don't know if you remember, but along here is where the transmission, because this is for the transmission here, for the gear shift, the linkage. So I've just taken it all off, where I did do the short shift, but I never replaced the actual bushes on there. So I'm doing that now. I've got some new bushes. I've already done the one at the other end. Yeah, the other end of that bush, that rod for the bush is all the way down there. You can't even see it, so far away. Well, that's where the actual whole bracket is, on top of the transmission. Yeah. Absolute nightmare. I found the easiest way was to actually get underneath and then put your hand over and do it blind. Where's the rod? Here it is. So I've got a new bush here, and I've already done the other end. Now I'll just make everything nice and solid. So that's all off in the garage at the moment because I'm cleaning it all up. So let's go have a look at that, and then we'll come back with the next issue that I've got. So when I've done the short shift, I never cleaned any of this up. I just put it all back on. But now we've got some new bushes to replace. There's the old one from the transmission end. That one's been replaced. So we'll just give that a good clean up. And that'll be it. Crack that on. Job done. Happy days. Right, well, Saturday morning. Dave has been and gone. The air conditioning guy. He degassed everything for me, and it had 1,301 grams. And that's pretty mad because I had a look and it's supposed to have 1,350, so it's only lost like 49 grams of whatever it is, fluid. I don't know what's in there. Magic stuff, magic fluorescent green stuff. Right, next thing I need to sort out all this wiring and disconnect everything from this side, work out where everything runs. By the looks of it, we've got these two power cables, and then the big fat cable that Matt wired up for me for the electrics in the van. Got those two earth cables that got runs through, and also this that runs into the air conditioning. So we unplugged that. I'll mark it up as well and put aircon on it. Yeah. Right, so I went ahead and I disconnected all of those wiring little bits and pieces, like I said, and pulled it all across to the front, and now I have a completely open access. I've removed some more pipes from around the front there. Is it the old Iber around there, the Iber spatcher? So released all of that. Yeah, I didn't want to take this out because it's looking a bit brittle in places, so I just left it in there for now. Should be alright. I guess the next job, I need to get this wiring out of the way. Yeah, oh, that'll do. Up there, over that bolt. Happy days. Yeah, so I think it's just a case of getting the crane out now. I'm not going to film any of it. I'm just going to concentrate on the job. You know, I wasn't actually going to upload again until it was all back in and up and running, but you know, you guys have been so supportive. Massive thank you to everyone that's been watching and supporting. And I thought the least I could do is upload and inform you guys of what's going on and how I'm getting on. Well, there we go. The engine and gearbox is out. It's unbalanced. I didn't know, well, I've never used anything like this before, so it's a learning curve for me. But yeah, it's out now. I'm just going to split the engine and gearbox and then get cracking. But I'll keep on little clips here and there as I'm going and keep you updated with the progress. So that is, you see if it goes in there, that was that sump bolt that fell out, and then it sort of like must have got stuck down there and sat like that, and I couldn't get it out, not even with the magnet, sorry, I couldn't even get it out, so somehow it got stuck in there. And then when because I completely forgot and I rotated it, obviously it got stuck up here. Yeah, so I learned from my mistakes. Make sure you always get it out first before rotating the engine. Ah, the joys. Okay, right, well, I'm going to get it up on the engine stand and have a look at the oil pump the other side, and then I can do the slave cylinder as well. Progress. That's funny, Matt must have wrote that on there. So I'm going to add my little signature in. Where should I put it? Just down here? There we go. Signed by me. So I checked the pipe, the pickup pipe, which is here. There was an O-ring in it. There was one, and it's here. But it was very flat and it was flush fitting, so I don't know whether it was sealed or not, but there is a mark there for where it was, so I can only presume that it was sealed. And yes, I did put one in, although it could do with being replaced and put a new one on. So if that's not the issue, I don't know why it wasn't circulating oil. I guess I'm just going to swap the other pump over. I'll put the one on that used to work. Just, yeah, I guess that's all I can do. And then I'm going to have to prime it up by hand, so it does all turn over nice and easy. And the reason why it turns over nice and easy is because you can't see. I mean, in there, just up there, that's where the glow plugs go. I took all the glow plugs out just to make it easier to turn the engine over because of the compression. There's so much there. But yeah, also the reason why the engine's upside down and on the stand, yes, I could have done the oil pump in situ in there, but we had to drop it all out anyway because I need to replace the slave cylinder, which I do have a cheap aftermarket one there that will do the job. So we'll get them swapped over. Bit in my hand is this. And this was a little bugger because it fell into the engine. Let me show you from the cylinder head. So this is my other cylinder head. Look, this is a really good cylinder head actually. This is one that I'm going to get ported out and reconditioned, and this will go for the more powerful engine that I'm building. So down here, well, I don't know how you can see, but you've got the head bolt that goes there, and then just behind it, where my finger goes all the way down, runs down to the oil galleries. Well, a lot of these big ones are just like, they just drain all the way down, straight through the head, all the way through the block, and down into the sump. Except for what happened was when I was doing the head up, doing the bolts on the head, you can see there's like a little, like a notch, and then what you do is on here, yeah, that was the Allen key you can hear, but in there's like an Allen key, and you line it up so that little hole lines up with the Allen key mark, and then you've got your little Allen key to tighten it all. Well, I didn't tighten it tight enough, and the M12 actually fell down that one, all the way down. If it had fallen down any of the other galleries, it would have been fine. It would have come out into the sump. But the way that oil gallery runs from this one, the very final one, it runs along and then it runs into like a chamber just up here. So it runs down and then into a chamber. And this is where it was. I used magnets and all sorts from the top trying to get it out, but I couldn't get it out. So I just turned it over, and this is the hole, and it got stuck through there. So I've got one of these things, like a long magnetic thing, and I just shoved it down the hole and just kept poking around until the socket actually just fell out. And the socket fell out into the rocker cover, so I took the rocker cover off and retrieved my socket. Result, because we don't want that stuck in the engine. That was another reason why the whole engine had to come out, so I could put it on the stand and turn it upside down and get that socket out. I probably didn't tell you about that because I was too ashamed, too embarrassed, my cock-ups. But because I got it out, and I'm chuffed about getting it out, I can tell you guys. Although I'm still, ashamed of what I've done. Yeah, comments down below, call me a dickhead. Yeah, I know. So, just going to get that oil pump swapped over and crack on. Nice one.